Do you know who Steph Curry is? I think it's safe to say you know who Steph Curry is. He's one of the greatest shooters in the NBA, probably one of the greatest shooters of all time. Now, do you think what impacts Stephen Curry's greatest ability to shoot the ball? Do you think it's just shooting? Is it all just in shooting practice, the reason why he's such a great shooter? No. There's so many different factors that go into Steph Curry's shooting ability. His sleep, his nutrition, his cardio, his fitness, his gym workout routine. There's so many different factors that go into his ability to shoot the ball at the rate that he shoots the ball. And business performance is the same thing. There are hidden drivers that influence your business performance that you don't know about that can be hindering your profit, hindering your revenue, and hindering your market share. We're going to be talking about those hidden drivers in this video and how you can improve them. Let's get into it. So when I talk about business performance in this video, I'm simply talking about increasing revenue, increasing profit, and increasing market share. Those are probably the three biggest stats that people use when they're comparing business performance. I'm going to be talking about hidden drivers that you might not be aware of that are eating at and killing those business metrics. Let's get into hidden driver number one. Hidden driver number one, your health and your fitness. Look at this statistic. Ready? Over 70% of Australian adults are overweight or obese. Now, imagine if you're a business owner, you're probably at a higher rate with all the stress that's happening in business. 90% of workers say their physical well-being directly impacts their productivity. If you don't have a good health plan, if you don't have a good fitness plan, if you are not taking care of your physical body, it is going to affect your business performance. It's going to affect your profit, your revenue, and your market share, right? It just goes without saying. If you're overweight, if you're morbidly obese, if you're not eating the right foods to fuel your body, how is that going to impact your business? You're going to be sluggish. You're going to be tired. You're going to have a nap every 2 hours. Your decision-making skills are going to be off because you got brain fog in the morning. You know, you need 10 coffees in the morning until you're ready to go. So health and fitness is so important in driving your business performance. And unfortunately, what I see is a lot of business owners, especially first-time business owners, right? They're healthy, they start the business, and now the business is consuming all of their time. And one of the first things they cut off is physical activity and healthy eating. It just goes down the drain and they start to put on kilos and kilos and kilos. Just know that that's affecting your business performance. So I'm going to talk about a little bit of a plan to help you. And these are things that I do that serves me very well that you might be able to implement. By the way, this works for me. It might not work for you. You might be able to switch and swap it, but this is what works for me. Before I give you what I'm about to give you, always remember when you're implementing any type of health plan, any diet, any change, start with baby steps. I know so many people, they do drastic changes. They have no gym sessions. They don't do gym at all. And they say, you know what, I'm going to go to gym 6 days a week. And their body is wrecked by the 6th week. And they say, man, this is sore. This is tired. This is too much. And they stop it altogether. Always start with baby steps. Never implement a drastic change. And the body doesn't like this either. So always start with baby steps. Now, this is what works for me. Number one, start your physical activity early in the morning. If it gets done before work or before business, it has a higher likelihood of getting done because during the day, you give yourself every excuse not to train or not to take care of your body in the afternoon. If you do it in the morning, whether that means waking up 1 or 2 hours before your alarm goes off, there's a higher chance of getting it done. Whatever it is, gym, running, swimming, whatever physical activity or however way you're moving your body, get it done early in the morning and I guarantee you it'll increase your chances of actually sticking to the regime. I know for me, I play basketball every Wednesday. I do 3 gym sessions a week and I go for about a walk every second day. How I fit this into my routine is I'm an early riser. I start my day at 4:30 a.m. I work from 4:30 to 9. I do about a 4-hour block and then I reset my body by going to the gym. I come back at 12, 1 o'clock and I resume the second part of my day. I do that every single day. That fits very well for my schedule. Now, if you've got kids, if you've got a family, if your schedule's different, you might have to swap that out, but that's what works for me. Now, when it comes to your health, it's not just about moving your body and being physically fit. You also got to be careful with what food you put in your mouth. Food is fuel. As a business owner, if you want to increase your performance, you've got to have the right food, the right sustenance to give you the energy to show up every single day as a business owner. You can't just take away every single day or just eat whatever in the fridge. I know for me recently, I just got married. I've got a meal service company that's taking care of lunch because I don't want to be able to cook lunch or I don't want to do takeaway every single day. I want it to have nice, healthy protein for my lunch menu. So we've got a company that's taking care of our lunch. But for you, if you can't afford, say, a meal service company, get your groceries done on Sunday. Meal prep on Sunday for the whole week so that you've got healthy meals. But the main thing is you've got to be very, very intentional with what food you put in your mouth. If you're not putting the right food in your mouth, it's going to show up in your business performance. You're going to be tired. You're going to be sluggish. Your mood's going to be off. Food is fuel. So make sure either whether that's contacting a dietitian, have a good health plan. The other day I was speaking to a lady and she was telling me that she's run some hypothetical profit and loss numbers and she wanted to run them by me. So I said, okay, what do you have? I've calculated, Emile, the court hire fees to be about $200 an hour. And then I said, whoa, hold on. Your numbers are really off. And so I said, where did you get those numbers from? Oh, look, I assumed. Never assume. I've created a franchise profit calculator where you can input real numbers, court hire fees, coaches' wages, how many kids you have in the program, so you can find out what your potential profit is per class. Click the link below to use the calculator. I hope you find it useful. Hidden driver number 2, and this one people don't talk about much often, it's sleep and recovery. As a business owner or a franchise owner, you need to make sure that your sleep is on point because it is the number one driver for how you show up the next day, right? And look at this statistic. Just 17 hours without proper sleep produces impairment equivalent to being 2 drinks. Imagine making a business decision having 2 drinks in you. That's what a lack of sleep does. You need to make sure you have great, adequate sleep. And for me, what works, I've got a nighttime routine, and I encourage you to adopt the same one. People have a morning routine, where they wake up, they go for a walk, they take their dog out, they sip their coffee. You need to have a nighttime routine. Unfortunately, people just scroll, and then they hit the bed, right? Not knowing that their sleep has been affected because they're scrolling. For me, I switch off all devices at about 6 p.m. My data, my phone, it's hard to contact me after 6 p.m. I don't look at my phone. I don't look at my iPad, laptop, TV, because all of that's got blue light that affects your melatonin when you go to sleep. So I encourage you to have a shut off period where you either read, maybe watch a bit of TV, something to quiet your brain down to get ready for sleep. Maybe even having a warm shower. The other thing I do, and I encourage you to do the same, is I go to sleep at the same time every single day, which is between 8:30 to 9 p.m. And I wake up at the same time every single day, 4:30 a.m. And that really, really helps with getting proper sleep. Your circadian rhythm, aka your internal body clock, it loves when you go to sleep at the same time and wake up at the same time. When I wake up, I know for myself, if I wake up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. and I'm not waking up at 4:30, my body's off. So make sure you're going to bed at the same time and you're waking up at the same time to get your optimal sleep. Hidden driver number 3, your relationship with your significant other. Now, if you're single and ready to mingle, then guess what? You don't have to worry about this. But if you're running a franchise or you're running a business, your relationship with your significant other is directly going to impact your bottom line in your business. And there are multiple studies that show relationships where the couples are happy and thriving shows up in the business performance. And think about it, right? It makes sense. If you've got a partner, I've got my partner Kimberly, if we're arguing all the time, if we just had a massive fight, or if there's tension and then I go to work the next day, of course I'm not going to be myself. I'm not going to be my happy self, my cognitive impairment. I'm not going to be strong up here. It's going to affect your business. So you want to make sure that you're fostering and that you're taking care of your relationship with your significant other. As a business owner, you know what happens when you start up a business? You're putting all the hours, all the grind in the business. All of a sudden, you're not seeing your partner as much. You're not going on date night. You're not doing the activities that usually bond you together, right? And that affects your business. So remember, you always got to take care of the relationship with your significant other. And to give you a bit of an idea, me and my partner Kimberly, we got a couple of things that we implement. We call them rules to make sure that we're taking care of our relationship. The first one is no work after 6 p.m. After 6 p.m., we don't talk about work to the next day. The second rule is Saturday night will always be date night. It's a time where Kimberly and I can go out, have a nice dinner, watch a movie. It's our time together, no business, and it's a non-negotiable. Every Saturday has to be date night. And then on Sunday, Sunday's always family day. We go out to church, we spend it with our family, we don't do any work on Sunday. These are some of the rules that we have in our relationship to make sure that we're fostering our connection, because if we're not, watch the relationship start to deteriorate, and then it will start to show up in the business. Hidden driver number 4, be careful what you do with your downtime. What you do with your downtime directly impacts your main time. And I remember when I was young, I started my business, I think I was 20. I was clubbing, I was going out to nightclubs, I was drinking alcohol, I was waking up on Sunday late. As a business owner, that wasn't conducive anymore to me. I wanted to expand my business. I wanted to grow my business. I had to leave my friends, leave my clubbing friends and my partying friends because they weren't helping me get closer towards my goal. In fact, they were taking me further away because every time I drink, it takes 3 or 4 days to get that out of your body. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is affected. I'm back at it at Thursday. Then guess what? Saturday comes around and we're back drinking again. So I had to leave all my clubbing friends, leave that circle and adopt a new friendship circle to help me get closer to my goals. But you need to be careful of what things that you do during your downtime because that's going to affect your business performance. If you're drinking, if you're watching pornography, if you're smoking, if you're doing activities that aren't conducive to your health, it's going to affect your business performance. So be very careful with what you do on your downtime. Eliminate, get rid of all of those vices during your downtime that aren't helping you or aren't getting you better. For me, my downtime, I mostly read, I spend it with family, I go out, I play sports. All of those activities help me unwind. So make sure, think about what you do during your downtime. And if it's not conducive, if it's not helping your business goals, if it's not taking care of your health, if it's damaging your health, man, just cross that stuff out. And the last thing that I want to mention, and this is probably one of the most important drivers when it comes to business performance, is your circle. Who is in your inner circle? There's a famous saying that goes, you are the sum of the 5 people you hang out with the most. If you are a business owner and a franchise owner and you want to get to that next level of success in business, whether it's expansion, revenue, profit, market share, whatever, if the 5 people that you're hanging out with is playing video games, doing inappropriate stuff, doesn't have goals, doesn't have ambitions, waking up at 11, isn't contributing to society, then why are you hanging out with them? They're not going to get you closer to your goals. And I know for me, I'm very careful about my inner circle. I've got 2 people within my inner circle. Everybody else is on my outer circle. And those 2 people, I know help me get closer to my inner goals. And goals, I should say. Unfortunately, that might mean you need to get some new friends. That might mean you need to have hard and tough conversations with people that you were friends with for a long time. But just remember, you will not get to that next level of success if you've got people holding you down. So guys, that brings us to the end of the video. Just remember, as a business owner, there are hidden drivers that are affecting your business performance that you want to improve on. It's not just about doing a marketing campaign or doing a sales campaign or bringing on the right employees. That does improve your business. But there are so many hidden factors that if you aren't on top of, if you're not working on, it's going to show up in your business. It's going to eat away at your profit. It's going to eat away at your market share. So make sure you have a sophisticated plan for each one of those drivers. If you enjoyed today's video, guys, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.